What's up, world? My name is Haas, and I'm out here on a Friday night in the windy city of Chicago. Temperature is hanging out around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a little bit of a breeze, so I think it probably feels more like 50 something. I've got a zip up sweater thing on, and I'm wearing pants, long pants, I should say. I'm not terribly cold. I just ate a meal and I'm feeling pretty good, feeling ready to do this. I see Alicia here. Hey, Alicia. I see Carrie here. Hey, Carrie. Hopefully the sound is coming through nice and clear. Um, yeah, it's dark out. It's nighttime, but I think that the video is actually pretty well illuminated. I like that this phone has some pretty good nighttime performance. So I think I'm coming through nice and bright. Hopefully sound is coming through well. I'm holding a sign here as part of this social experiment. So that's what I'll be doing today, asking people some difficult questions about the animals and trying to promote a vegan way of living if I can get this sign out. So let's see. Okay, the show must go on. So, got the sign. I see some awesome people in the chat. Felix is here. So we've got some moderator power going on. I'm holding this sign that says "Come participate in a social experiment." We'll see what happens. The last stream had about 10,000 views altogether. The one that I did on the college campus on what day was that? Wednesday, I think. I don't know if I'll be able to top that, but I'll still keep going, whether it's 20 people that watch, whether it's 200, whether it's 2,000 or 20,000. It doesn't take away the urgency. I feel like we can celebrate our successes, but we still need to stay grounded in the fact that we need to just keep fighting until every cage is empty, until every animal is free. So yeah, 10,000. I think concurrently there were up to maybe like 160 viewers, and it was hanging pretty high for a long time. So it's a sign that I guess my reach is increasing. I mean, right now there's 42 people. Welcome. I'm Haas. I'm holding the sign that says "Come participate in a social experiment." Trying to see if people are willing to take some time out of their Fridays. And I'll be asking them some questions about animals. If you're not yet subscribed, do subscribe to the video. Helps out my channel a lot, obviously. And so does giving it a like. So if you haven't yet given it a like, give it a tap on your screen. And let's see if anybody stops by holding this sign. Come participate in a social experiment. Trying to get people to confront their values. So obviously I'm not going to be able to tell people what to think, but I can maybe help get some people to think and see if their values are in line with veganism. See if they are at a point in their lives where they're open to the idea of reconsidering their relationships with other animals. So we might get a couple conversations, we might get no conversations, we might get 4 or 5 conversations. But the important thing is that when people are ready for this message, that somehow they will find it. And I'm just one of those means of them finding that message. If it's not me today sharing this message with someone, then it might be someone on another day. Um, Mary says, "I rarely get on Haas live." I'm glad that you're able to be here. I don't know if I've done a Friday night live before. Um, Usually it's more like during the day, during the week, that kind of thing. But let's see if we can find some participants to partake in this. So thank you all for being here. If you are vegan, I would love to know how long you've been vegan for. Would be cool to get some chat conversation going, or maybe list your favorite or write your favorite fruit. I love fruit, so I love hearing about what kind of fruits different people like. Do it, YOLO. So yeah, we got some people considering it, but they didn't do it. Mary, almost 6 months. That's amazing. Alicia, 10 months. Amazing. It means that veganism isn't dead, right? We're still growing. I love, I used to love hearing higher numbers, but now in some way, with all the crap that we've seen with people saying is veganism dead and like vegan restaurants are closing, that means that movement is dead or something like that. I'm like inspired more now when I see people who have been vegan for shorter periods of time. And if you're in the chat and let's say you like to eat products of animal exploitation, maybe tell everyone what your favorite product of animal exploitation is. But like, if you like to eat pigs, for example, just say pigs. Don't say like pork or bacon or something like that. I see skibbity enthusiast. I don't know what skibbity means. I've heard it a lot, but I don't know what it means. I hope it's nothing bad. But welcome. Good to see you here. I see Stone Cold Steve Rock says Free Palestine. I'm with you on that. See Soledad Robledo says hi. Hi, welcome. Glad to have you here. Stone Cold. When I was in high school, people would talk about Stone Cold. I think his name was I thought it was. Is it Steve Rock? Maybe this is a different Stone Cold, but people would always talk about this Stone Cold Stunner, which was like this wrestling move. Notice says, what is going on in the stream right now? I'm glad you asked. So my name is Haz and I'm an animal liberation activist. And I try to get people to think about Steve Austin, yes, thank you. I try to get people to think about their day-to-day choices and see if they can make more animal-friendly choices so that we can have a world where animals are no longer exploited. So basically, I'm just holding the sign. I know it's backwards on YouTube, but it says, come participate in a social experiment. And basically, I'm just going to ask people some questions. Would you guys like to participate? I mean, I watch you. All right, so I am live on YouTube, okay. Just so you know. So what's your name?
I'm Tanya.
Tanya? Mm-hmm. Cool, and I'll give this to you actually to hold, because I've got one right here. So I'm asking a question about animals. So I'm asking if you think that animals are subjects or objects?
Subjects.
Subjects?
Yes.
Yeah, and what are the entailments of that idea that
I don't know. I feel like animals, especially like my dog and even my axolotl, like I feel like they like communicate with me and they have understanding. So I feel like they're a little bit more sentient than like an object would be.
Right. Sentient is an important term.
Yes.
Do you think that there are animals who lack sentience?
Maybe.
Or do you think it's more of like, is it an on-off switch or is it a gradient?
Probably a gradient.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
So I guess what would be some examples of, maybe I'll throw some out, like
maybe like a fish.
A fish is sentient, right?
Or is not as sentient. Like a dog is more, but then like a fish is less.
I don't know about that with fishes. I mean, because they have a lot of like nerve endings, for example, in their mouths, because it's like one of their only like palpatory kind of like parts of their body. Cause they have to basically sense like everything with it and kind of have like really complex calculations based on what they felt to know like food, danger, that kind of thing. What do you think about like a pig, for example?
Pigs are smart. Aren't they like they have the intelligence of a 3 or 4-year-old? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess my question is then, in light of, let's just take pigs, for example, their sentience and their possessing a subjective experience of the world, how do you think that should implicate like our treatment of them?
I mean, I definitely feel like every time I eat bacon, I feel a little bad, and especially like octopus, same thing. So I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's like a learn to live with their contradictions situation. Yeah.
So you mentioned octopi and like the intelligence level of a pig. I think that does have some bearing when we think about like sapience, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know that necessarily affects their sentience, right? Like sentience is more like their capacity to suffer, to respond visibly or meaningfully to suffering. I would charitably assume that you don't believe that it's okay to cause suffering of someone who is of a lower degree of intelligence, right? We wouldn't say that, like, because there are humans, like there are unintelligent, poorly educated humans, and we don't think that they're less sentient, right? Yeah. So, but in light of, the ability of pigs to suffer, whether we're talking about a pig or whether we're talking about a dog, for example, like they would both
Right.
experience suffering in the same way. You mentioned eating pigs. Do you know what is considered the most like humane like method of processing pigs?
I
I'll
have
put it
no
that way at a
idea.
slaughterhouse. So, would you like to know?
Not really. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things maybe I don't want to know.
Is it willful ignorance?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Is willful ignorance something that's compatible with how you wish to view yourself?
For some things, I feel like with food and like with, I guess a little bit with food and animals, it feels like it's just something that's part of it. And yes, I'd try to eat more humane, but yeah.
So, can I tell you what's considered the most
Okay,
humane
I'm
way?
ready. I'm
Okay, so
scared.
it's gas chambers. It's CO2 gas
Oh,
chambers.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm never eating pigs
98% of
again.
pigs. Yeah, 98% of pigs are put into a CO2 gas chamber. So, like,
Uh-huh.
if you open up a can of soda and you like inhale it too fast, there's that carbon
Oh yeah, yeah,
dioxide.
yeah.
It reacts with the mucous membranes in their eyes, in their nose, and in their lungs, and it produces carbonic acid. So it basically creates this intense burning sensation because it's concentrated in the chamber. And
Oh.
so 3 or 4 pigs at a time are basically thrashing around in the gas chamber. And then the gas chamber opens and they basically plop out into this little receiving bay. They're not dead, they're not even stunned. They're just incapacitated and really unable to fight back once the hooks come onto their feet, drag them up, and then they have, their throat cut ear to ear. So they bleed out, they're fully conscious, just like severely injured basically
Right.
at that time. Their heart is still beating, so that's what causes the blood to, in gushes,
Right,
come out of their body as they're choking on their blood and kind of thrashing around. And then eventually they stop moving and they die of the cause of blood loss, basically. Is that something that you've never seen, right? I guess.
No, I feel like
Footage.
it's like hard for me, but I feel like it's just like part of sort of the life cycle. But yeah, I do think about it. I don't eat as much as I try to eat other things, but yeah, I try to eat vegetarian every now and then. So
Do you think that knowing that that happens, like now that you're aware of what happens, do you think that you have a reason to continue eating pigs?
I think it's just sort of the cycle. I would like to say like maybe I'll be a little more
Inertia?
conscious, but I will probably just
What do you
still
mean by
eat.
cycle, though? If I
Like
could
the
push you on
cycle
that.
of life.
Oh, circle of life. So,
Yeah.
like, are you talking about like life eats life, that
Yeah,
kind of thing,
kind
or
of.
something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, just part of how it goes.
Yeah, I guess like I would kind of posit that it's more the circle of torture and death.
I
Like,
mean,
you know, I mean, like circle of life just means that there's a beginning that we're born and there's an end that we die.
Right.
It doesn't speak to what happens in between. And I would say that we're actually interfering in their circle of life because we're killing them in a premeditated fashion.
Oh, that's
You know,
fair.
determining the day that they're going to die from the
Right.
moment they're born as a
Yeah.
piglet.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll probably still eat it, but I definitely think about it. It's definitely something that crosses my mind when I eat it, but I'm not sure I'm like there yet.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that the fact that it crosses your mind, or let's say you even do like some ritual and pray for them and stuff like that, does that change the fact that that animal's life was taken from them for unnecessary reasons if they would have?
I mean, I think it just depends on whether you think like it's just a lot of people eat meat, so that's kind of where it is.
Appeal to popularity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'd like to just give you a resource here. So this is about compassionate choices. So you see there like a dog, a pig, and then you see like a cat, a chicken. And I'd encourage you to check out a documentary called Earthlings. And you probably won't want to watch it because it's basically showing you like the horrors of what's happening to animals. But I would encourage you to just think about holding up a mirror to yourself and just asking yourself if these things are actually in line with the world that you want to see. And just ask yourself if nonviolence is closer to that world, and then ask yourself what you can do to help engender that world.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for stopping. All right. So I think I did my best with that conversation. Gray Sky Vegan is here. Gray Sky, good to have you here. Allison is here. Great to have you here, Allison. It's a little bit of a difficult conversation, but I did my best. So I'm gonna keep holding the sign. If you're just tuning in, my name is Haas. I'm holding this sign that says, "Come participate in a social experiment," and I'm talking to people about animals. Just to give you guys a little bit of a view of where I am right now. So we have basically this is like part of the Mag Mile here on Michigan Avenue, overlooking the lake over yonder. So the lights are on. The city is buzzing. It's Friday night. There's a parrot here, but I guess this guy is trying to get people to take pictures with the parrot. See if I can zoom in on this parrot bird here. Looks like a blue and gold macaw. And yeah, it's a nice night. It's a little bit cool. It's when I looked, it was about 60 degrees out right now. It's a little chilly, but I've got pretty appropriate clothing for the temperature. Yeah, night outreach, says Gray Sky. It's cool. Yeah, it's not something that I've done much in the past. I try to avoid, like, more people tend to be like inebriated and things like that at night. So it tends to be something I try to avoid more often than not. But and I also, I've been trying to scale my bedtime a little bit earlier. Definitely not one of those like party, go to bars, drink, that kind of person. I don't consume alcohol. I don't do any drugs other than, I guess, sometimes I drink tea. Um, I guess, like, I don't know if you'd call me straight edge. Like, I don't know if drinking tea is compatible with a straight edge life. I mean, I eat like cacao sometimes as well, like chocolate, I guess, but very rarely. So I guess like caffeine would be the only um, drug, like officially, that I consume. I mean, very occasionally, like if I have like a terrible headache for days, I will sometimes take like acetaminophen, like a Tylenol kind of thing. Um, but yeah, very rarely. Usually, I try for more natural stuff. But yeah, I don't drink coffee and stuff like that either. Um, Carrie says, "Bad boy Haas drinks tea." Yeah, and most of the time when I drink tea, it's not even Camellia sinensis, like the actual tea plant. It's like herbal tea, which that term herbal tea is kind of like it's a little bit. I don't know what the word is, but like obviously the herb that tea comes from, like the tea plant Camellia sinensis, is an herb as well. But I know when people say herbal tea, they mean like non-tea plant tea. But yeah, I tend to drink more like uncaffeinated tea. I see Tessa here. Tessa, thank you for being here. Glad to have you here. My watch is giving me a bedtime reminder because trying to scooch my bedtime a little bit earlier because I want to start waking up earlier again. I used to wake up at like 4:30, 5 a.m. and do like an hour or 90 minutes of like a Kundalini yoga practice type thing. I used to have like a really dedicated spiritual practice before my day started, and like the sun would be rising while I was like chanting mantras deep in a meditative trance. And I kind of want to go back to that a little bit. It kind of lights a little fire in me that kind of helps me like sustain through the rest of my days. But I've just got to get used to getting tired earlier, because if I shift my sleep schedule to wake up at like 4:30 or 5, I've got to be kind of like lights out at like before 10. But yeah, we'll see how that whole thing goes. Even if it's not like 4:30 or 5, I'd like to get up a little earlier, maybe like 5:36, something like that. So we'll see if we get another person to stop by here. Most of the like there are people on the street, but it's not terribly crowded right now. Most of like the more like bar type streets are the more crowded ones right now, and um, I'm in more of like kind of a tourist heavy area, but not so much like bars and base and that kind of thing. It's more like I mean, there's still people. It's kind of actually interesting when you look at where I'm standing. So there's this guy with the bird, trying to get people to take pictures with the bird, and then there's also someone with like a vintage camera looking thing, like offering pictures. So it's basically like three people in a straight line that like people kind of walk through, um, and we're all kind of like basically trying to get people to stop for different things. Vegan forever, says Soledad Robledo. I'm right with you on that. So we'll see. I will. I'm not in a terrible hurry. I've got 96% battery. I've got water with me. My microphone is charged. I'm not too cold. I could technically be out here for like 2 hours. we'll see. I don't want to have to go to bed terribly late. That's really the only thing. And um, yeah, I took my puppy out at like past 6 p.m. So he's only on like a 3 hour bladder right now. So yeah, I could technically be out a long time. But let's just see if we can get some conversations going, right? Because that's what it's all about. You guys don't want to just hear me monologue here and try to take up and pass time. So I don't know. Maybe maybe I can try doing the reverse psychology thing that our friend Chip does sometimes, where he's like, "I want to drink milk. Let's exploit cows so I can drink their milk." Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try that. I don't want to steal his spiel though. I mean, I've already been inspired by his social experiment model, right? So I don't know. Maybe we need to keep some degree of originality with this whole ordeal. Yeah, just not a whole lot of foot traffic walking by right now. I'm in a pretty open plaza, but as you can see, it's like relatively empty. Not a lot of people walking by, walking around. I don't know if moving would make it easier. There is someone playing saxophone kind of around the corner, so I don't want to go somewhere too loud. And Carlin says, technically, you should find some better way to contribute to society. I think that we all have different ways of contributing to society. This is one of the ways that I practice what's called selfless service. Um, it's part of what I consider kind of like a yogic principle of like there's the yogic principle of ahimsa, which I believe in, which that's not what I'm referring to here, but like there's the non-violence, and then there's something called seva, seva, which basically means selfless service. So this is one of those acts of selfless service. It's basically me being in service of my vision for the future of nonviolence and non-commodification and non-exploitation. But I appreciate your comment. It's just, I guess I consider it a little bit misguided because I do think that it's actually a wonderful way to contribute to society for not only animals but also for human health, human relationships like social harmony, and of course, the planet and the environment as well stand to benefit from more people going vegan. Kiddo says, or Mary says, selfless service, and Kiddo agrees with Carrie, saying, I cannot think of a better way to contribute to society than sharing a message of compassion. Yeah, not only compassion, but um, bodily autonomy. Oh my goodness, the moon. Has anyone seen the moon? Let me see if I can capture this. All right, I'm gonna go into nature photographer mode here. One sec. I'm gonna tilt my and flip it. Look at that moon. There's a full moon. Look at that moon. I thought that was like some bright light, like a spotlight, but that's actually the moon. It's a full moon. That is the moon. Okay, so I want us all to chant a mantra together. Sun, moon, earth, infinity. Ra, ma, da, sa. 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 All right. I know that was pretty out there for my usual content, but yeah, mantra meditations can be really cool, and yeah, it's all about energy. I'm being facetious here about the energy stuff, but yeah, I do think that sound healing is kind of cool. Chanting stuff can put you in like a state of mind where you maybe kind of have these like transcendent experiences, all that stuff. Beautiful moon. Yes, Mary, I agree. Expand the space that you occupy in all directions. Yes. Encompass the universe. I like what I'm reading. So I've been out here for about 25 minutes. I've had one relatively short conversation. Let's see if. All right. I was just lamenting about how long I've been standing here and how few conversations I've had. I am live on YouTube, just so you know. Are you okay to be live on my YouTube channel? Okay. And would you mind coming back just so that you're in the frame? So I'll give you this to hold. I have one here, so we're both mic'd up here. What's your name?
Barbara?
Barbara, cool. My name is Haas, and like I said, we're live on YouTube now, on my YouTube channel. There aren't a whole lot of people watching, maybe like 20 or something, but basically, I'm asking people some difficult questions. I'm not asking for anything other than an open mind. So I'm wondering if you think that animals are objects or subjects.
Objects or subjects? I don't know. They're like people. I mean, they're
People.
family, so they're not. I mean, objects to me would be inanimate.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, inanimate.
right.
Yeah, animate.
So I would probably say subject,
Yeah, and
but not subject like I'm the queen and they're my subjects.
right. But more like subjects, as in like subjects of an experience,
Okay,
right?
I could buy that.
For example, like this glass window
Mhm.
here. It's not like anything to be that window, right? Like the window's not the subject of an experience.
No, it's just there.
It's just there, yeah. But it's like something to be a pigeon, for example,
Okay.
right? Would you agree?
Are you a philosophy major? Are you a philosopher?
I did study quite a bit of philosophy. I was one class shy of a minor
Okay.
in philosophy. I never didn't do it. But do you know what I'm saying? I guess you can call me a street philosopher, sure.
Okay.
But I guess then what would be the entailment? So do we agree though that a pigeon is a subject? It's like something to be a pigeon.
Yeah. They have thoughts and experiences.
Yeah, and things can go better for them. Things can go worse for them.
Sure.
They have interests.
Sure.
Whereas like this window, if
It
you
just
smashed
is.
it, I mean, you'd be committing vandalism,
Okay.
but the window wouldn't suffer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess in light of that, do you think that our society treats animals with equal consideration or fairness for their capacities to experience subjective states, or do you think that we discriminate based on the species membership of various animals?
Oh, well, now you're asking sort of the wicked question. Like, are the animals are you meaning animals equal to humans or
No, I mean more that, for example, like the standard way that the most humane way that a pig is dispatched from life, to put it in a sterile fashion, involves putting them in a gas chamber and then slitting their throat.
oh,
Whereas, if you commit acts of violence against a dog, you can, have criminal charges levied against you and get imprisoned for it. You can get put in a
Right.
cage as a human
right,
for beating a dog
right.
viciously.
So what's your question? Are they all treated?
I guess, well, maybe to rewind, do you think that, for example, like the experience of a pig getting put into a gas chamber and having their throat slit and bleeding out is worse for the pig than it would be for a dog? Or is it like, would it be equally shitty for either one to experience that?
Probably equally.
Yeah.
I mean, you should probably ask the vegetarian over here.
So, so I guess what I'm wondering is like, do you think it's fair that we have laws protecting dogs from abuse, but we have like contests certifying like the best hot dog and stuff like that that comes from pigs?
I think that pigs have historically in human existence been looked at as livestock, where dogs have been looked at as pets. So
Right.
they're a different.
So that's what is.
Yeah.
But is what is always what ought to be is the question.
I don't know. I mean, I think that kind of depends on who you're asking, who you're
I'm
talking
asking
to. I mean,
somebody's higher self.
I understand that, there are certainly people in the world who believe that the Jain people don't believe in killing anything or eating anything that's living. Um, and I would say most people are, like me. There are livestock and animals that are given as food in some sense, and animals that
Given?
are pets, or that were. I mean, no one. I mean, I don't think anything. I mean, if people are looking to the Bible for words, there isn't really anything in the Bible that, there are ones that are said this is for eating, but these you may not eat. I mean, if they're going back that far.
If we have a moral position that we ought not to exploit other animals, do you think that we would even have a need for religious beliefs if we believed that all life deserves moral consideration and that we just ought to be nonviolent insofar as is practicable and possible? I guess it's just interesting that a lot of times people appeal to religious beliefs when they're trying to justify doing bad things to others. But it's very rare that somebody will say, I'm not going to eat a pig today because they're also a soul.
Well, there are plenty of people who believe that. I mean, I don't know if they go as far to say that they're a soul, but they say that plenty of vegetarians and vegans who say, I'm not going to do that because these are my beliefs. I believe that they're.
Yeah. And do you think those beliefs are based on faith, though?
No. I think they're individual.
Yeah. So I know this is kind of like maybe more philosophically deep than you were.
More than I was expecting on the street.
Sure, and I appreciate you engaging in good faith. I guess the question I would just want to ask you is, do you think that if something's been happening for a long time, like for example, people would say that in the past, women are here to serve men, and that's historically been their role. Or people would say maybe other races of humans are here to serve other races, etc. I'm bringing us back to kind of that is ought kind of a thing.
Right.
Religious kind of positions and theories and that kind of thing aside. I guess, do you think that, like, how do you think moral progress, and I don't mean this in a confrontational way, I know it's hard to ask without it sounding confrontational,
Right.
but would you agree, I guess maybe I'll put it that way as a yes or no, that I'll state my position that I think moral progress happens because there are people who disagree with the way things are going, and they're passionate and vocal enough
Stand up for themselves.
to stand up for themselves, or in
Right.
this case,
For
to stand up for
animals.
those, who can
Can't.
never free themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're in many ways like children,
Mhm.
right? They're innocent, right? They're just bred into the world. They actually trust us more than we deserve. They are defenseless and they're vulnerable. They're completely at our mercy, and that doesn't make us like cool and like apex predatory. That makes us, I would say, bullies, because we're attacking those, exploiting them, taking the only thing that they have, which is their, if you are coming at it from religious perspective, a God-given life, and then just using them for a 15-minute sandwich that we'll forget about in 2 weeks.
Well, I think it's a good social experiment to make people think a little bit about that.
Would you say that I achieved my goal of getting
Yeah,
people
you
to think in this
made me think
conversation?
about it a little differently. Yes.
All right, great. And I'd like to give you a leaflet, if I may. This is from an organization called Vegan Outreach, so I'll take that. And this talks about just like more compassionate choices. And I would encourage you to try to kind of exoticize the familiar and familiarize the exotic. I know it can seem like a really far out kind of thing to think about abstaining from, participating in the system of collusion with the entities that are subjecting animals to property status and turning them into commodities. But I would encourage you to just try to think of how much it actually might be very much in line with your conscience to try to find ways that make animals more considered in those choices. Great, Barbara. Thank you for stopping. I appreciate it.
All right.
Have a great night.
Hope you find some more.
All right. Thanks. All right. Um, I think that was an okay conversation. I think that was a better conversation than the previous one. Let's see what's been going on in the chat here. Carrie says, "Oh, I've been there many times. Strange and beautiful place. I wonder where." Oh, NSW. Oh, I think that means like Australia, maybe. Because I see Sydney. Man, I've always wanted to go to Australia. It's like it's so far away. I just never really put the time aside to travel. Like I don't know. It's like I don't even know how long it would. I don't know if you can even go on one plane ride. It's like probably like 16 hours or something at least from Chicago, and you probably have to stop like somewhere in between. Um, but yeah, I do want to go to Australia one day. I want to see like wild cockatiels and cockatoos and koalas and kangaroos. Kiddo says, "You are indeed a philosopher. I love listening to you talk." I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I mean, it is philosophical in some way, for sure. I try to think of a way to kind of have these conversations where it's a little bit more tangible, but somehow it always ends up being kind of like super deep and philosophical. But I guess that's a little bit on me. I mean, it's completely on me rather, because I'm asking people, are animals objects or subjects? And that's like, that brings into question the whole like state of being kind of thing and consciousness. And man, I don't know though. I'm getting kind of a little bit burnt out on that line of questioning. So maybe I'll think of something easier. The streets are also getting extremely sparse now with people, sparse rather. Um, so I don't know how many more people will actually be able to have stop by. It's like it's kind of clearing out as I think more people either go back to their hotels or go out to some bars, etc. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll try for one more conversation here. GT says, "Do you know Aaron the vegan?" I don't think so. Henry Zoom says, I was reading it. "I can't say I hunt and there's nothing wrong with it. What's wrong with that?" Henry, I would say, Miss Skeeter, I would say that if you can avoid hunting, I would say that that would be the preferable thing to do. I get the whole thing that people say where they say, like, I kill one animal when I hunt kind of thing versus however many animals die and like crop related harvesting kind of thing. But the fact of the matter is that what you do is not scalable. So if everybody were to be hunting, it wouldn't be scalable. And, we've been responsible for a lot of the ecosystem disruption that enables hunting to happen in the first place. So yeah, I would say that it's preferable to just abstain from hunting. And Diana says, "Have a good night, Haas." Have a good night, Diana. Thank you for being here. See you later. And for anyone tuning in, if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. I do these kind of like social experiment type things a few times a week, usually, at least a couple times a week lately. The weather's going to be getting cold pretty soon in Chicago here, so I probably won't be out quite as much, but I'll still, try to do a stream here or there. And I'll be doing some other stuff too, so I'll still be doing some epic shit. It'll just maybe be a little bit more indoors compared to outdoors. So anyway, yeah, thank you for being here. I just don't know how many more people will really be able to get to stop by here. But I'll be out here trying. I'm holding the sign that says, "Come participate in a social experiment." And I'm just trying to get people to reflect on their values and see if exploiting animals is actually in line with people's values. So that's the whole deal. I wasn't always an animal advocate or animal liberationist or activist. For many years, I participated in the exploitation of animals. So I was responsible for sending animals to slaughter. And I learned about what happened to them. I know it's like kind of anticlimactic, right? And I could kind of frame this story to be a little bit more climactic, but that's really the truth of the matter. I learned about what was happening to them. I thought about it. I know that there's a lot of people actually who avoid thinking about it because they know that if they did think about it, they would have to change. Obviously, I don't make any money from this. It's something that I wish I didn't have to do. Like I kind of wish I could be at home, either chilling with my dog right now, maybe making a warm cup of tea. I might be strumming on my guitar, singing or whatever. Getting my music rig ready for recording, stuff like that. I'm an avid songwriter and guitar player, and I wish that I could be doing that. I mean, I could be, um, and activism could wait for another day. But unfortunately, the animals need us right now. That's not to say that I should spend every waking minute. I mean, we have to be able to have manageable lives, but I really think that activism is one of those things where it's like our tax for living on the planet. I'm not content with just being vegan and abstaining from funding animal holocausts. I think it's important that we all try to do our part to help the animal holocaust end. Erwin says veganism equals respecting animals. Yes, truly respecting, not just the kind of respecting that people talk about when they talk about humane slaughter, whatever that means. Felix says Haas deserves your support. Wish I could subscribe multiple times. I do appreciate that. That means a lot. That really does mean a lot. Mary says, Haas, you're out working for the animals on a beautiful evening. Yes, indeed. I just don't know how many people will really be able to get to stop by at this point. I get a little stir crazy just standing around a little bit too. Like I have a history of long distance running and stuff like that. And I just I walk a lot anyway, like throughout the city on a daily basis. So I don't really like standing too much. I actually I start to kind of. You want to participate?
Kind of.
All right. I am live on YouTube. Just so you guys know, are you guys okay to be live on YouTube?
Yeah,
Okay. And you guys over 18?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Are you guys both going to participate?
Sure.
Okay. So would you mind coming just into the frame here? And let me just lower this a tad. I was trying to show people the scenery with the buildings, but I'll give you guys this to hold. So this is a microphone. I have one here, so feel free to just keep that on yourself.
You want to hold it?
All right, so I've been asking the same question all night, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So what rights do you guys think animals deserve?
What rights is there?
I have no idea.
I never thought about that, so I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah,
Fair.
I have no idea.
So are you guys familiar with the concept of negative rights?
No, not really.
Not really, no.
What would you imagine that it means?
Negative
Uh,
rights.
So when we think of rights, it's like the right
Rights
to do something, right?
Yeah. I would just say the rights that do not seem fair at all.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that just don't seem fair, I guess. You know? Like,
I kind of.
that shouldn't be rights. So,
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I can see how you might have come up with that, but it's actually the rights to not have things happen to you, or, if that makes sense. So it's basically protection. So if you think about rights that one might have, like a right to vote, right to drive a car, but then we have negative rights rights to bodily autonomy, for example, or rights to not be subjected to violence kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
yeah. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm wondering is, do you think that we apply negative rights to animals equally, or do we kind of pick and choose a little bit selfishly? So for example, a dog, if you beat a dog, you can go to jail for that. They're protected by law from violence.
I could say, yeah.
Um,
I feel like people don't, I feel like they're not treated as good as they're as a human. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, dogs aren't either.
Yeah.
There's dogs in medical experimentation. Obviously, dogs are bred sometimes against their will. They're still sold property. So yeah, dogs have a long way to go too. I'm wondering what you guys think about the animals who are forced into slaughterhouses. for people to eat.
It's not good. That I would not like. I would stand against that.
Yeah. Do you guys personally avoid eating animals?
I actually gave up eating animals for like a good while, but I did start again.
What was your reason for stopping?
Just like imagining them like dying and like
Be killed.
yeah.
Yeah. Because they're not just dying, right?
Yeah.
Because we're all gonna die.
They're dying too early for people to eat.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about a
That's
chicken,
like
I
the
think.
circle of life, I guess.
Well, I mean,
Like that.
I would push back on that idea. I would say the circle of life just basically implies that there's a beginning and
Like
there's an end to it.
Yeah.
Predators, yeah, in nature do kill other animals, but I would say that we shouldn't look to them for how to live ethically ourselves. They do a lot of stuff, they grape each other and stuff like that. They commit infanticide. We wouldn't justify that, but for some reason, people like to look at the behavior of eating and just pick that one behavior and then try to align ourselves with that. I would also say that they're doing something without a choice, without an alternative. And I would say that, if you were in a plane crash and like your buddy was next to you and you had nothing else to eat, like, and your buddy was dead and you decided to eat their leg or something like that, or even if your buddy was alive, I wouldn't necessarily say that you did something immoral trying to survive yourself if you were in this dire situation. Like, I mean, it's I would say immoral, but maybe not unethical. Do you guys think that we need to eat animals to be happy and healthy in this day and age, in this setting?
I mean, me personally, no, but I feel
I don't
like
think you need to eat them to live and be happy.
But what, sorry?
Like, you don't gotta eat them to live, obviously. Like, enjoy yourself and all that, but yeah, I mean, I guess you don't need to. I mean, I eat meat, but I just think it tastes good. So
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and
lots
people,
of protein
yeah, protein, sure. I mean,
gets you pretty strong.
and I don't think that anybody stops eating animals because they don't like the way that they taste. But I think we decide that the way that they taste, like the taste pleasure that we would get from eating them, doesn't justify taking their whole time horizon for a 15-minute, sandwich or bucket or something like that. When we have alternatives, things, think about what makes an animal product taste good. It's usually the spices and seasonings that people put on anyway. Like the actual cooking of flesh actually is like pretty nasty smelling. There's things like uric acid, the thing that like makes pee smell like pee. There's like literal blood. A lot of times there's actual fecal contamination because they're shitting themselves when they're getting killed. So anyway, I won't take up more of your guys' time, but I'd like to give you guys a leaflet. And I'd also like to encourage you guys to check out a documentary. It's called Dominion. So I'll trade you that. Yeah, and it just basically shows, it's out of Australia, but it shows standard farming practices and practices in slaughterhouses. And just watch it and see if you're okay paying for it. Because you might not be aware of the totality of like what a large system this is, and you might actually prefer to not align yourselves with it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take it.
Thank you guys for stopping. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Were you wanting to participate?
Hi, how you doing?
Hello. Are you over 18?
Yeah.
Are you guys all over 18?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And are you okay to be live on my YouTube channel?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great. So I'm asking people if they think that animals deserve rights.
I think they deserve rights.
Do you want to hold this?
Yeah.
I got one here too.
From the middle?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they deserve rights because if humans deserve rights, as usual, animals should, and they are living in Earth, there must be rights for them. So not like kill them to put some jacket on or coat or some shoes with that,
What about
The
killing
leather.
them to eat them?
Killing them to eat them, that's the thing for vegetarian, But I think for the cloth, I agree with you. For the cloth, they need rights for that. But for eating, I think all people here eating chicken and you know, some goats and some. Could you know more animals about that?
So what if we ate chickpeas instead of chickens, and oats instead of goats, and figs instead of pigs, and you know what I mean? You know,
Oh,
we have
that's so
alternatives,
deep.
right?
Yeah, that's deep question. You know, I think,
'Cause we don't have to do it, right?
of course, but the animal eats. The animal eats, you know, grass and plants. So human should not eat like what animal eats. We eat some animals, you know. Animal eats grass and some plants, you know.
We can eat
So
plants too, though, right? Like I've been vegan for 13 years, so no milk, no cheese, no chicken, no honey, no eggs. I haven't
so
eaten any of that
yeah,
since almost 13 years.
yeah. What's your experience about that? Can you tell me? Because I'm not a vegetarian guy.
Yeah, so I actually stopped eating animal like bodies 2 years before that. So it's been about 15 years since I ate an animal. And there's millions of vegans throughout the world. So basically, we just get our protein and all of our nutrients from like fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds, anything that comes from the earth. Because if you think about it, yeah, the animals they eat plants, but think about like a horse, a gorilla, an elephant. They
Mhm.
grow strong, they grow muscles by eating plants, and all protein actually originates in plants.
Yeah.
So like sunlight, you know, makes photosynthesis.
Yeah.
Plants generate, you know, plant sugars and protein. So we can just do that ourselves instead of like using the animal as like a middleman. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand your situation, but I respect your opinion. But if if they if they are animals and we should eat them, they are not like taboo or something if we kill an animal and eat it, because in all religions you should eat animal, but some religions not. But you
What
know,
religion are you
it's-
referring to?
don't want to say that because to not be like supposing we are now in the animal situation. We're not be full for religions and more
Well,
things.
are you referring to your religion though?
I'm not referring to that, but I will not tell because we are the situation we're talking about. It's about animal and eat them animals
Right.
and vegetarian things.
I guess what I'm trying to ask though is that you're saying that basically in your religion it's allowed to eat animals.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess what I'm wondering is in your religion is it allowed to be vegan? So for
It's
example,
allowed. It's allowed to be too. You know, you are a human. The humans have, you know, freedom for choices. You know, I can choose whatever I want
yeah.
to be vegan.
So your
or not.
religion's not a reason to keep hurting animals, right?
Not, but it's not harmful for to do that. You know,
It's not harmful to eat animals? Not
No.
harmful to who?
I think to me.
What
it's-
about the
it's my
God in
opinion.
that animal?
The what?
What about the God in that animal?
Animal have gods?
The animal has a subjective experience, right? They're
Yeah,
experiencing
but-
the world.
but
There's
human-
someone inside.
Yeah, human have so much freedom to do that. If that, can the goat go to the office and write an paragraph or email, send it to me? No, because their mind different than mine mind.
Yeah, but
I
can
can
an
do
intellectually,
everything.
can a baby do that? Are you going to eat babies?
No,
Are you
we are
gonna
an
eat-
animal situation, not babies.
Yeah,
See,
but so,
we are
so
humans.
it's not intelligent. So what
Yeah.
you're doing is begging the question.
No,
You're
not-
saying
no.
that A is
No.
A, so we can do this. B is B, so we can do this. But
No,
I'm
no.
saying,
Man,
What's the-
I respect your opinion.
but I don't want your respect. I want you to respect the animals.
Okay, how gonna do that?
You
Because
can leave them alone.
okay, I'm now trying to hear from your opinion and what you
Okay.
your you know
It's
what
not
you
an opinion.
start for
It's basically it's a
30
hostage situation.
uh-huh.
I'm trying to get these
To get
animals
an
free
opinion.
from you exploiting and killing them.
Yeah, I know
I'm
that.
trying
But
to convince you to
Uh-huh.
leave them alone.
you're telling me about you know the right thing and the not right thing. What?
You could think of it that way. I mean, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to tell you what to think.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to ask you if you truly deep inside you can look at yourself in the mirror, right in the eyes, and say,
See.
animals are here for me. They deserve to die, so I can eat them, even though I don't need to.
Yeah, that's evil way. I
Look in
think.
your own conscience
Yeah.
and ask yourself if you're okay with that. It's not about what I think. You know, you're gonna walk away. I'll probably never see you again. I'll wish you a good day, a good life.
Thank you so
and
much.
and I can't keep you accountable more than just right now. that's why I'm saying, I appreciate that you respect my opinions, but it's more that I want you to respect the victims who I'm speaking up for.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I respect you as a human being. And what's your idea? You know, your ideas. It's new. It's new for me because I didn't knew about that before. You know, I didn't knew about that before. So you are telling me that thing that it's not in my mind before. You know,
That's fair,
I
yeah.
think it's normal. You know,
That's fair,
because
yeah.
I am born to eat that things. So
Yeah.
when I grow up, now I have new thinking in my mind. It's coming. Oh, what I'm done. Oh, it's good or no.
Yeah. So I guess if you're thinking about it, that's really good. It's like a seed that you plant, but you need to keep watering it, right? Otherwise, the seed doesn't grow.
Yeah.
So what I would tell you is keep looking into it, into what happens to animals, and keep asking yourself from the position of that animal, if you wouldn't want to be in that situation, what would you consider to be a good enough justification, a good enough reason if somebody wanted to take your life, that you would say, okay, that's fine, and put your head down on the chopping block. You know, if they say, I
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
way you taste,
I,
would
I
you do
like
it?
I like how you're thinking. You know, you're giving me different ways and the same idea. I like that, man.
That's good. So
Yeah.
yeah, if they say I like the way you taste, if they say it's my tradition, if they say my religion allows it, which of those would you consider the good enough reason? And I know you're with a group of friends, so I won't keep you longer.
Yeah,
But
thank
thank
you
you
so
for stopping by. And
You're
I'd like to
welcome.
give you just a leaflet if I could, just has some more information
About the.
about plant-based living and veganism as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for stopping. I appreciate the conversation, and I know it can be a little bit intense,
your
but I'm Haas.
Haas.
Yeah.
Same.
On YouTube, it's Haas Vegan.
Haas
On
Vegan.
Instagram too, just so my name Haas
Haas.
Vegan, all one word, no space. Haas
Yeah,
Vegan.
Haas Vegan.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
so
likewise.
much.
Thank you for stopping. All right,
No.
take care. All right. I think that was a good conversation. He seemed pretty open-minded. He was saying that, he was thinking about these things and stuff like that. So I think that was that's probably a good stopping point, reaching about the hour mark, and do need to take out my puppy and go to sleep and stuff like that. All the normal. Well, I guess the puppies is a new thing for me, but the going to sleep, the normal human things. I'm definitely, even though my genetic test said that I'm a night owl, more propense to be a night owl. I certainly don't feel like one. I really like getting up early in the mornings and doing stuff and doing chanting and meditation and stuff like that. So, yeah, thank you all for being here. And something that we like to do as a tradition on this channel is, let me just do the chip thing real quick. Let's milk cows for milk. I want to steal chickens' eggs. Okay. Got some weird looks. Just had to try out the little chip grand finale thing. Still getting weird looks from people who probably heard me. Yeah, that one's a little more difficult, I have to say. But yeah, we think about things that we are grateful for. So it's usually 3 things that we're grateful for. So I'll start. And if you're grateful for something, put it in the chat. I'd love to see different stuff that people are grateful for. And just the practice of gratitude. It's actually, it's one of those things that. Let me just shrink this down real quick for a sec, without pinching my fingers. So the practice of gratitude is one of those things that it's not always easy, and sometimes it can feel like you're kind of digging up on a dry well. It's kind of like the Dave Matthews Band song where he says, you seek up an emotion, sometimes your well is dry, that kind of thing. Sat Sri Akal. So yeah, sometimes, you seek up an emotion and your well is dry, but, still it's important to try to be grateful, to have gratitude. We can all think of something that we are grateful for. It really has like a reverberating effect on your life. You'll think about it. If you really put forth effort to feel gratitude, just really try to feel it, later on, at some point when your mood is starting to dip a little bit, which, let's be honest, everybody has ebbs and flows in their mood. It's just part of being human, right? Human experience. That gratitude seed that you planted is going to come back spontaneously and touch you in a positive way. Like it's going to touch your spirit in a way. So just try with me here. And it's getting a little chilly, I have to say right now. How many degrees is it? It's, I don't know, whatever. It's like probably like upper 50s right now. But anyway, let's do this. So I'm grateful for the color green. It's a beautiful color. It's like, you know, it's inviting. It's like alive. To me, it's kind of an inspiring color, but it's also kind of cool. You know, it's not like very fiery and intense. It kind of has like a little bit of coolness to it. Green is traditionally associated with good luck, with health, with money, which, you know, you might think the money association is not quite, you know, the most spiritual thing per se, but yeah, I'm grateful for the color green. I'm grateful for the fresh air, relatively fresh air that we have in this city right now. Earlier this summer, there was a bunch of wildfire smoke coming down from Canada, and it was just awful to be outside. Like my eyes would burn just being outside. I started kind of like feeling a lot of scratchiness in my throat. Just like all that fine particulate matter was just lodging itself into the delicate tissues of my bronchioles and my lungs. So it's really nice to just have cleaner air. So yeah, I'm grateful for the color green. I'm grateful for clean air. And lastly, I'm grateful for light in darkness. Meaning, like, you know, I'm not talking about colors like light colors, dark colors. Of course, I don't want anybody to think that I'm insinuating anything about skin color or anything like that, like saying that light is better than dark. What I'm saying more is like the light of awareness, like the light of conscious awareness in a sea of darkness. It's kind of like that quote about how all of the darkness in the world can't put out the light of like a single flame, a single candle. So just think about that, you know, when you're feeling maybe a little bit hopeless or feeling despair about the state of the world and feeling discouraged and feeling like your light is trying to push through a lot of density, like ideological density and ignorance, a lot of times willful ignorance, apathy, indifference, people exercising their freedom to not care. Just remember that all of that darkness still can't dim your light, right? So be that example, be that shining example, and pretty soon you'll see some results from it. The results might be slow. The results might not even ever make themselves actually readily apparent to you. You might have to almost just like rely on faith a little bit that people are coming around to your light, right? But to quote a band, True Nature, who wrote a song called Pono, they're a vegan straight edge band. I don't know if they're still performing, but their music is amazing. Check it out. But they have a song where they say the song Pono, they say something to the extent of like, your light is what will help them see. Your light is what will set you free. Your light is what will make the change in your life. And I'm not quoting that perfectly, I don't think. Maybe I am, but yeah, keep that light in you. There are people in the world, believe it or not, who need your light. This is one of the things that's really driving me writing music, because I have music in me that I want to share and put out into the world. And you know, the last thing I can imagine, you know, is dying with my music still in me. So I will, you know, pursue that goal relentlessly, and also, you know, speaking up for the animals, because, you know, I respect and I want to preserve that sacred spark of life in those animals as well. Life is so precious. So to recap, I'm grateful for the color green. I'm grateful for fresh air. And I'm grateful for light within the darkness. So anyway, I know some other people were saying things that they were grateful for. I saw a lot of like fellow vegans kind of thing. Soledad said, grateful for having a home. Yes. Carrie said those willing to do street outreach. I do appreciate that. And, you know, we have so many amazing vegans doing street outreach here on YouTube and probably on other platforms as well. Anyway, if you're here and you haven't subscribed yet, It would mean a lot to me if you did. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's my goal. You know, I slept on this channel in increments of time and finally back to it. And while we're here, I also just want to kind of show you guys a little bit of scenery around. So this is the Chicago River here. Let me zoom out. Yeah, Chicago River here. And there's the Trump Tower. And yeah, it's a nice night out. We got cars going down the I think it's called the DuSable Bridge, or yeah, John Baptiste something bridge. It's like the Michigan Avenue Bridge. It's a nice night. Allison, thank you for liking and subscribing. So yeah, that's the stream for tonight. We just passed an hour, and I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm proud of myself for doing this because I kind of just wanted to not. You know, I never regret doing activism, even when it doesn't go that well. You know, we didn't get any people shaking my hand and going vegan today, but you know, we got some people saying that they got, you know, I got them thinking at least. So I think that's good. But anyway, thank you guys all for being here. I really, really appreciate all your support. I appreciate your taking your time out of your day, you know, just to take your time, you know, just to be here. Your support, just like, it means so much to me. Like, I can't even put it into words. Like, the extent of gratitude I have for everybody for just being here, putting your heart into the stream, making the world a more compassionate place. You know, I really have so much gratitude for all of your voices here and all of your inspiring comments and all of your advocacy for animals. So thank you for being here. That was a little taste of my deeper register in my voice, because I get so much shit from for my voice. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye. Have a good night.